Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you a new Bollinger Band strategy that I've created over on TradingView that the backtesting results appear to be capturing around 40,000% profit when trading ETH USDT over on Binance. Now, it's important to note backtest results do not guarantee future results, but backtesting a strategy is an important part of trading to see whether or not you have a valid strategy or not. So, with that all being said, let's jump over to the charts. And so as you can see over here on ETH USDT, it's the 3-hour candle chart on Binance where I am seeing that insane 40,000% potential profit using this strategy. And the strategy is really a Bollinger Band trend continuation strategy. And unlike the traditional Bollinger Band strategy where folks wait for the price to break above, say, the upper band and then get short, or on the flip side wait for the price to break below the lower band and then get long, and that type of strategy would be considered a trend reversal strategy. So you're looking for the trend to reverse, but the strategy I'm looking for is more of a trend continuation strategy. If you've been around in trading long enough, you've heard the term the trend is your friend, so you typically want to trade with the trend. And so that is the objective of this strategy. And so right over here you can see a long entry when the price closes above the center line or your moving average line. And when this price does actually close above that center line, that would signal a buy to go long. And I know there were at least a couple comments when I shared just a screenshot of the strategy where someone had said the results are basically BS because of possible reprints. Well, when you actually understand the strategy and that it doesn't actually enter a trade until the close of a candle, you eliminate reprints. And so this strategy doesn't enter on a false alert or a reprint. It enters on the close of a candle. So we know that the price has moved up and closed above this center line and thus opening this long position. Now, as you can see, the price does kind of move up and then eventually rolls over, and then this candle sells off and closes below the center line. So the strategy would close my long position and open a short position. And in doing so, we either capture profit or take a loss. And in this case, the strategy would have captured a profit of around 2.5%. Now, we obviously didn't capture the top of the trade, which would have been over 5%, but I'm not aware of any strategy that on a regular basis can capture the top of the move and exit for profit. So at the end of the day, in my book, this strategy would have won the battle on this particular trade. And if I would have applied, let's say 10x leverage, this could have been a 25% move in my favor. Now, something I have explored is perhaps exiting out on this line here. And you see when the price goes above, that would have been a 3% profit. So not a whole lot more profitable than the 2.5% profit. Or I could have let this trade run for maybe a breach above the upper band. Now that could have produced a nice profit of 9%. However, I would have got stopped out actually on that trade here anyway when the price crosses below the moving average or the center line and opens a short. So I wouldn't have actually captured this profit on this particular trade, but I get another opportunity to take a shot at this move here to capture profit when the price does move back above the center line and opens a new long position, which would have given us a shot to actually lock in that profit. So combined with the 2.5% profit back here, and this 5% profit here. I could have perhaps captured more of this move. However, again, my strategy will wait until the price crosses back down below the center line. And in this case, that happens back over here, and we lock in a 4.78, almost a 5% profit on this trade. So again, at the end of the day, this strategy is still winning the battle. Now, on the flip side, if we take a look at a short, you can see back here, the price crosses down below the center line, and we enter our short right here on the close of this candle, or the open, essentially, of the next candle. And then the price dumps down here beyond around 10%, only to then eventually bounce up. And then the strategy exits when the price again crosses up above the center line, and we would exit at the top of this candle. So we would exit right here. And in this case, the strategy would have locked in around a 3.61, call it 3.5% profit. Again, with a little bit of leverage, 10x, that would have been perhaps a 30% move. And so with that all in mind, let's take a look at a loser, and that's going to be this move here on this short. The price crosses down below the center line, or the moving average. The price does actually go in our direction. However, it then bounces up and we get a cross above that center line, and we would have exited on the close of this candle, or obviously on the open of the next candle, and enter a long. And so that would have been a 1.29% loser. What you will notice is my losers on this strategy are a lot smaller than my winners, which ends up giving me a very favorable risk versus reward ratio. So with that being said, we can actually jump over here to the strategy tester on TradingView down here at the bottom of the screen. If I give that a click, that will bring up the results for this particular strategy, and you can see that the net profit for this strategy being back tested would have been 41,170%. Now, I guess before I get too much further into these stats, again, there's always those keyboard warriors out there who doubt any positive results. So we'll click over here on the settings cog and jump to properties. And you can see the properties are your standard properties. I didn't tweak them to try to inflate the numbers. My initial capital is $1,000. The base currency is the default. The order size is 100% of my equities. And so the strategy does compound my profit, which is how I would trade perhaps this strategy. And then as far as pyramiding goes, that's set at 0. So I'm not messing with the number of entries that I'm allowing the strategy to take. Commission, I have set at 0. Now, adding commission will affect those results, but currently over on Bybit, if you're a maker and not the taker on a trade, if you actually are doing limit orders, you're paying 0% commission. And another reason I have this set at 0 is I pay different fees depending on the exchange I'm trading on. Again, like I mentioned, Bybit, you could actually be paying 0%, where on Qcoin or OKX, I might be paying 0.025% to be the maker. So at the end of the day, commissions are a part of trading, so you want to calculate that into your results. And then verified price limit orders is 0 ticks, slippage is 0 ticks, margin for long positions. I think one of the keyboard warriors questioned the margin would have skewed my results. I have it set at 0. So with the margin set at 0, the strategy is actually returning 41,000% profit. Now, if we jump over here to performance summary, you can see that the net profit of 41,000% is made up of 34,500% on the long side, versus the shorts are only 6,500. And so I'm still developing the strategy, and I might just look at eliminating shorts altogether and have the strategy close the position rather than flip to short. But that's something still under development. This strategy is by no means finished. It's just a strategy that I've begun to backtest, and I will be deploying to live fire in the very near future to see how it performs under live fire versus backtesting. And so moving along, if we take a look at some more of the results, you can see the gross profit was almost 200%. However, the gross loss was around 150%. And then another factor you want to consider is max drawdown. It's pretty steep at 66%. Most traders aren't going to be able to tolerate a 66% drawdown. And I know the buy and hold trolls, their comments would be, you should have just bought and held. However, ETH has run down easily since its all-time high to today's price over 66%. So your buy and hold strategy would have had a drawdown greater than this strategy. Just something to consider. And to address those buy and hold trolls, had you just bought and held, your return would have only been 343% versus 41,000%. For me, I'm willing to take the risk of a 66% drawdown and at the end of the day have a 41,000% return versus a buy and hold strategy of taking the risk and ending up with a 343% return. Now, my Sharpe ratio is below my standards. Typically, I want this over 1. However, the profit factor is over 1, and so that would be in line. And so if we scroll down and take a look at a few more of the results, total closed trades are pretty important. You want to have a good pool of trades to have back tested the strategy, and in this case there were over 1,200 trades in the back test, and so that should give you enough data to go on. And then the next item to look at would be winning trades, 286, and then number of losing trades, you're looking at 980. And so you can see that the strategy has a higher loss versus win rate, which gives you a percent profitable of only 22.5%. Now, some of you might be wondering, how can this strategy be profitable if it's only right 22.5% of the time? And if you jump down here to your ratio average win versus loss, you can see you have essentially a risk versus reward ratio of 1 to 4. And when you have a 1 to 4 risk versus reward ratio, you don't have to be right very often to be very profitable. And the last couple numbers we'll look at is the largest winning trade was 72%, and the largest losing trade was 12.85%, so just under 13%. The average bars in trade is only 13, and so the strategy is not spending a long time in trades as far as number of bars go. And then the last thing is margin calls is 0, because again, I was not using leverage when I did the back test for this strategy. Now, if I jump over here to the indicator page for this strategy, you can see it's called the Recon Trader Bollinger Band Strategy. If I scroll down, you can see the objective of this strategy is to signal possible entry, exit points, and back testing of this strategy's performance. The best results I've achieved so far, I've done a lot of testing on the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, and daily charts. That seems to produce the best performances or the higher time frames. This is not a scalping strategy. And to quickly recap, the strategy triggers a buy or it goes long when the price crosses above the center line or the moving average, and the strategy triggers a sell or opens a short position when the price closes below the center line or the moving average. Thus, the strategy could be deployed as an automated buy-sell script. And that really was the objective of me creating this strategy, is I want to actually be able to deploy this strategy on an automated platform where it will actually execute those orders automatically for me, and I don't have to sit in front of the computer to actually execute those trades. And one of the platforms I can automate that on would be cryptohopper.com, and I can use the TradingView interface that they offer, where you actually set up an alert with a webhook and then your entry based on your strategy. Now, with that being said, unfortunately, cryptohopper.com doesn't actually have the capability of futures trading, basically going long and short. You'd just only be opening long positions, which might not be terrible for this strategy. As you saw, it performed better in long positions than it does in short positions. However, I am looking at developing an alert over here on TradingView that would send the alert to, under notifications, a webhook URL that would actually send that order directly to, say, Bybit, where I could actually trade perpetual futures and be going long and short. And so for that Crypto Hopper automated trading bot and this new possibility of sending alerts directly to Bybit using API keys and a webhook URL, I will make future videos on setting those up, so now would be a good time to shoot that subscribe button. Also, it's important to note that this strategy is actually a private strategy, and I'm only making it available to my Recon Trader YouTube channel members. And in order to become a member, you will need to click the join button, select the membership level, and then there will be an actual video that gives you access to a link, and that link would bring you over here and you would be able to scroll down and then add this strategy to your charts. So I think that's enough jaw-jacking for this video. If you're interested in seeing those future videos on how I'm deploying this strategy via like Crypto Hopper or automating it through TradingView to Bybit, now would be a good time to shoot that subscribe button. If you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you have questions or comments, drop them in the comment section down below. And until next time, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.